Morning guys, I'm back today to show you the Forteller Cambrian in a little bit more detail. I've already uploaded an unboxing and first impressions video showing this watch in a little bit of detail, but in this video I'm going to run through all the facts, figures, stats and specifications and show you some lovely macro shots of the dial, the hands, the steel finishing, all the usual stuff. And I got to say straight off the bat, I think this is one of the best value for money micro brand watches I've ever seen. It is genuinely AliExpress money, but it's not being sold on the AliExpress platform. It's a proper micro brand. At the moment, it's the only watch this particular micro brand has to offer, but they offer it in 3 color variations. They very kindly sent me the blue sunburst dial version and the fully loomed dial version as well. So you'll see both of those watches in this video. And at $219 US, I wasn't joking when I said it's AliExpress money, although for international shipping they do ask for an extra $15. That is with DHL Express, so I think that's well worth it. So yeah, all in, international customers will be able to pick up this watch in a couple of days for $234 US. Yeah, that's a decent price, isn't it? So for me, definitely one of the best value for money NH35 powered micro brand divers available on the market. Now you can be forgiven for thinking a micro brand diver powered by an NH35 costing well under $250. There's almost certainly going to be some serious weaknesses when it comes to the specifications and the build quality, but I'm pleased to report the list of specifications is actually surprisingly impressive. Sapphire crystal ceramic bezel insert, nice bezel action, actually decent resistance. Listen to these clicks. That is good, and the alignment as well, pretty good on this watch and the other watch. Beautiful sunburst dial with applied logo, solid end links, solid links, screw pins, milled inner elements to the clasp. Yeah, there are not seemingly any weaknesses when it comes to the materials used or the specifications set for this watch. So that is basically why I think this could well be one of the best value for money micro brand divers available. What's that you say? The loom is almost certainly going to be rubbish because that's the first thing that gets sacrificed when watch manufacturers are trying to save a few quid here and there. Well, from what I'm seeing, the loom displays on both watches are pretty impressive. You do have loom filled applied indices on both watches actually, and on the other watch you've got a fully loomed dial, and they've gone to the trouble of putting contrasting loom in the applied indices and on the hands. Fully loomed bezel inserts, again ceramic matte bezel inserts. Yeah, that's impressive, isn't it? Okay, so you think maybe they've cut some corners when it comes to the steel brushing and polishing and the overall fit and finish of this watch. Well, I can tell you it's as good as most watches I've seen costing less than $500. The steel finishing is actually very nice. The polished surfaces are nice and bright. The transitions on the case between that polished chamfered edge and the brushed sides and top to the case are very, very nice. The brushing is a very consistent satin brushing all over. The print on the matte ceramic bezel insert is nice and crisp. The dial seems beautifully done. All the alignment seems spot on. A nice strong sunburst fading blue dial on this one. So yeah, it seems to have been put together very, very nicely. The only one thing I will say is the safety latch and the outer shell to the clasp a little bit thinner than I'm used to. Yeah, these outer latches that don't have double pushers, I find it's easier to lift them like this instead of digging your nail under the end here, which I don't find very comfortable. But yeah, that is, I think, the only criticism when it comes to the sort of build of the watch. And I think they can be forgiven. Because, well, look at the case back. It's got a very nicely milled fossil and some specifications and details around the outside. Yeah, it definitely looks impressive, doesn't it? And you've also got the number of this watch, number 139 of 249. Let me check this other one actually. Yeah, I thought so. There are less watches of the fully loomed dial variation. Look, this is number 52 of 149. So there isn't an endless supply of these watches. And I have to say, as much as I do enjoy a fully loomed dial, and I think they've done that watch particularly well, the colour they've used for this blue sunburst dial and the strength of that sunburst effect and the fact that it fades to a darker blue, almost black around the outside of the dial makes this one, I think, just that little bit more appealing. I think this is my favourite out of the three options. Really, really beautiful dial, very nicely applied indices, quite strong, aren't they? Big applied indices, big bold hands as well, reaching right out to the chapter ring. Decent balance on this watch as well, because you've got the date window at the 6 o'clock, and again they've color coded the date wheel, so they don't seem to be cutting too many corners at all, do they? And something else that really surprised me, and they deserve an awful lot of credit for, is the little package that they send you. I don't think this is a genuine leather watch roll, but it does come with a Horween leather strap, and it feels beautiful, really, really thick, but super soft and malleable straight out the packet. And it does feel almost a little bit greasy, like it's been oiled. I'm sure it has been oiled. But yeah, that's a really cool sort of rustic leather strap, isn't it? Yeah, I like that a lot. And then they're also sending these watches out with a sort of silicone strap, which is going to take quite a bit of weight off the watch and make it very, very comfortable. It's pre-formed as well, or pre-curved at the lugs. Quick release spring bars. All the straps come with stainless steel buckles. They're not signed, but yeah, they're not making you swap out all the buckles. It really is quite incredible that they're offering you a couple of tools, a couple of straps, and, well, a very impressively spec'd out diver for well under $250. Yeah, they're obviously passionate about watches, and, well, similarly to James and I, want to offer something to watch enthusiasts that represent incredible value for money, because I think there's a lot of oh, they are signed. What? It is signed as well. Look at that. Wow. Oh, but that one isn't. Okay, one of them is. Right, let's finish off with some dimensions and a few other specifications. Case diameter is 40mm. Thickness is 14.3, but don't forget this is a 300-meter diver. It's not a 200-meter diver, so there will be some extra thickness on the crystal and the case back, so that needs to be taken into consideration. Female end links, which is nice, so let's just give you the case length, 47.1, and the lug width is 20mm, tapering down to 16. Set up for my roughly average 7¼ inch-ish wrist. Wow, look at that, almost bang on 150 grams. Perfect. That's actually quite impressive considering it is a 300-meter diver. Now I'm going to test the crystal on the white dialed watch, because you'll be able to see the AR coating a little bit more clearly. So it is sapphire crystal, flat piece of sapphire crystal, and there you can see that blue hue on the outside of the crystal there at the top. That is the AR coating. So before I wrap it up, let me just run through the couple of weaknesses that I mentioned earlier on. In fact, I have already talked about one. It is the outer shell and this safety latch. They just feel a little bit thinner than I'm used to, but I really do think they can be forgiven, because on the whole, the specifications for this watch are incredible. But yeah, if there was one weakness, I would say it is just the outer shell. I mean, it is signed, look at that. And this safety latch just feels a little bit thin. And yeah, if you operate it with the sides, it feels absolutely fine. But the other one is just the thickness, because it is a 300-meter diver. And I've said it in a few videos before. I generally prefer 200-meter divers, because they would have shaved maybe 1.5mm off the thickness of this watch had they made it a 200-meter diver. So yeah, me personally, I prefer a little bit less height and a little bit less water resistance. But honestly, that is it. I mean, let me know, guys, in the comments section if you are seeing other weaknesses that I'm missing. But the build quality seems fantastic. The alignment on both watches is perfect. I just am struggling to find any other weaknesses. Yeah, let me know, guys, what you think in the comments section. So yeah, to summarize, if you are looking for a fantastically well spec'd 300-meter diver that's not going to cost the earth, I think you definitely have to consider this one. I think the value for money here is off the charts. So I just have to say a massive thank you to them for sending me a couple of watches, and a huge congratulations, because I think they have done a fantastic job creating, well, an incredibly affordable, well-spec'd 300-meter diver. Right, guys, I'm looking forward to reading your comments on this one. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and yeah, I'll get cracking on the next video. Thanks, guys. Take care. You'll see me again very, very soon.